Hi, this is David with the Discount Dragon again, and we are back with the second part of the recycled leather wallet that cost almost nothing to make and very little of your time. So here's where we stand. This is the old wallet. It has been badly cannibalized to make the new wallet in the whole idea of making use of recycled leather. So not only are we using this recycled leather skirt here to create the new wallet, but we're also using pieces of the previous wallet. So we're getting multiple levels of use out of it. And here it is at present. I cut off where the clasp was, and I just glued it directly onto here because there's plenty of use left in the clasp. There we go. And the holder for the pen was good enough to keep, so I just tore it out and re-glued it in here. So this video will be just the finishing touches on this. So the first thing we're looking at is this, which is our little miniature toolkit. And actually that's something else. This is going to be our little miniature toolkit that goes in there. And as with everything else, this is going to be assembled just with Jewelette, which is a nice multi-purpose crafting adhesive for light-duty stuff. So we take this and slap some Jewelette on here. And none of this is going to be under a great deal of stress, which is why you can get away with just gluing it. If you do this correctly, the Jewelette provides plenty of bond, and since it doesn't really have to do a whole lot, usually home free. So just to make sure you get a little on here. So this is just a little thinly layered pocket. It's going to hold our small selection of emergency sewing supplies. Let's get it tucked in this other piece of leather like this. And that should be plenty good to hold that in place. So to create the other side of the pocket, we are putting a little more glue on here. Yeah, this does tend to just soak in if you give it a chance, so sometimes you have to put a little extra. That's one of the issues of working with porous materials like leather, but it's also a very easy thing to fix. So we're just folding this bottom piece up like this. Now I left the top parts of those exposed. Not through sloppiness, but to kind of give myself a clue in future use of the wallet as to where the pockets are located. Otherwise, it all just looks smooth and you don't know which pocket goes where. So I'm just going to put these in place. This is another piece of little recycled stuff. This is a little razor blade piece taken out of a broken pencil sharpener. That's why it's such an oddball little thing. Slides right in there. Then we have got a pin and a needle taped together. Goes right in this pocket. Got a safety pin, because, you know, you always need a safety pin. That can go there. And this is our little miniature spool of thread. It's just thread wound around a piece of like a little flat cardboard spindle.
And maybe, yes, like, you know, he's making like a needle and a pin. It's like, where's the thread? Oh, there's the thread.
And I would recommend, if you're going to do this, to use something like button thread or heavy-duty carpet thread, because this is obviously kind of an emergency sewing kit, and you want stuff to hold in an emergency. So don't put regular thread on there. At least that's my advice. So this folds over. It basically turns into its own little leather sort of envelope. Opens up very easy. And due to the way it's going to be positioned, things are going to tend not to fall out anyway. So we are going to glue this in there. You don't want to put tons of glue because then it starts oozing all over the place, and it's not really a problem, but just messy. But you want enough so it's not all going to totally soak in. So I usually stick this on one of these two inside pockets, and I'm going to stick this right here. Just eyeball positioning it rather than measuring it, just because it saves me time. Okay, and there we go. It's got a little sewing kit. You've got the space pen here for when you need the pen. So that part, the internal part, is done. You've got the two internal pockets, kit, pen, then two more pockets, full with all kinds of junk that I probably don't need in my wallet.
You'll notice the absence of money once again.
Yeah, and it clasps, so it's nice and secure. And I kind of like the little flippy aspect of it, where it goes like that. Just for my own personal style. So, I got that part done. Now, this is a very lightweight leather this time. I don't usually reinforce this top part, but I am going to do it on this one due to the thinness of the leather. So I just made two little leather reinforcements here. On the last one I did 3, this time I did 2 just because. Okay, just a nice little coat of jewellet and slap it on there. And it would probably be better to have the stuff kind of laid out and held in place with weights or clamps or whatever, but I'm not going to bother. In my case, I am just going to stick this on here, and if it starts peeling up a little bit due to the way I did it, I will just put a little more glue on later and stick it back on, and it'll hold eventually. This is just kind of a quick job for the video. I've been using this wallet for about a week, and it's been holding together quite well, as they usually do. Okay, second reinforcing thing here. And stick that on. I thought about doing a little elaborate leather punch stuff, a little punch work on this, but I did not. Of course, you can get as fancy or as simple as you want. So, next I'm going to put a tiny bit of decoration on here. I didn't do that last time, but this time I'm going to do it for the demo. And these are just some pseudo mystical symbols that I'm going to glue on there. Hopefully it will make anybody that tries to steal my wallet think it's cursed! And it will turn them into a frog or something. But mostly it's just for fun. If I could turn people into frogs, I would have a whole different income stream. But yeah, you could definitely get very fancy with this if you wanted to. And with the ease of manufacture, you're not hampered by trying to find the typical leather working tools like specialized punches or, embossing tools or any of that. You're just kind of doing a cut and paste job here at a very low technological level. And this is like grade school skill level. But you produce a pretty nice result. So, just sticking that on there. And, of course, you can also do things like paint these with acrylic paints to make them stand out, or use various other finishes. And it just kind of stuck on there. And do another one here. It is a good idea to put a little bit of glue on both surfaces and let it get a little bit tacky. It gives you a more sure bond. Not completely necessary, and I don't always do it. Just thought I'd mention it since working here. I had thought about building more advanced features into these wallets, like LED lighting and a little battery pack and various other things. But obviously, I'm keeping it pretty simple here. But it would be nice to have some kind of little light source in there. Kind of a Swiss Army wallet concept. Almost finished here. And you know, the nice thing about this whole project is it takes almost no time to put together. It takes very few tools, and if you get your materials, which is essentially the leather skirt or leather jacket or leather whatever, if you get leather handbags or skirts or whatever, just make sure that they actually are leather. And there's nothing wrong with using non-leather products, because some people don't like to use leather. But some things don't bond as well. The leather is nice because it's very porous, and even though that is a negative because it soaks up the glue, it's very nice because it does give you a nice tight bond very easily. But if you want real leather, make sure it actually is. Inspect it, make sure you can see the back side of the material, and that it doesn't have a weave on it and isn't some kind of, you know, crummy plastic. But if you want crummy plastic, of course, then you're set. Also, make sure that whatever leather or material you're getting, if you're getting it from a thrift store, isn't so old that it's decomposing. Because, I mean, vintage stuff is all well and good, and used stuff is all well and good. But it reaches a point at which it is no longer structurally sound, or it's been eaten by little bugs, or what have you. You run into that a lot, especially with furs, where the fur is rotting and shedding. But you also get stuff like that with leather occasionally. Alright, so this is our completely completed project. And I'll hold it up here. We've got some pseudo-mystical symbols. We've got our reinforcing done, which will help this from tearing. And this won't last forever, but it will last for years. And all for a material cost of, I don't know, something like 20 cents. So for 20 cents and maybe 20 or 30 minutes of your time, you can make your own custom no-sew wallet. And I think it's well worth it. It's also a conversation piece. I have talked to numerous people, and they've said, well, where did you buy that wallet or whatever? And I said I made it, and they're impressed. So, you know, it's something to talk to people about. And if you want it as a conversation piece, you can add in stuff to make it even more so. So that's the project, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.